Hello team, welcome back. And today we are going to discuss about how we can build our own custom Docker images. In the previous lectures, we have seen the Docker file. We have seen the default commands which is present inside the Docker file. Today we will use that Docker file and we will create our own custom image. So let's start with. So we have already discussed about this in the previous lectures. To create the Docker images, we need to create the Docker file first. So in this particular lecture, first we create our own custom Docker file and then we will see how we can create a Docker image from that Docker file that can be run as a container. Now we need to discuss about the syntax of Docker build command. So here is the Docker build command, docker build -t. Then you need to specify your image name, then the tag name, and then the directory where your Docker file currently presents. Now we will understand the detailed explanation of Docker build command. Here -t is stand for to mention the tag after the image. Image name is the name of image which you want to provide to your image. You can provide it anything like nginx an image, mysql an image. So you can provide any custom name to your image. Then you need to tag that image. So if you want, you can specify the version. If you want, you can specify some custom tag to your image. After this, we need to provide the directory where my Docker file present to build that particular images. If your Docker file is present inside the current directory, then you can mention period like dot. If your Docker file is not present inside the current directory, then you need to specify the path of your Docker file inside your command. So very first, we will create our own custom nginx image and execute it. But before create any Docker file, we need some kind of editor where we can create or edit the Docker file. For this, in this particular training section, we are going to use the Visual Studio. So Visual Studio is a code editor tool which is being provided by the Microsoft, and in the recent days I am finding it a very suitable and very popular code editor, right? Visual Studio Code can be used by any kind of programming language. You can use the Visual Studio Code with the C, C++, Python, Ruby, PHP, even with the Jenkins file and Docker file. So first we will see how we can use the Visual Studio Code. To use the Visual Studio Code, we need to download this Visual Studio Code from the given link, or you can go to Google and type download Visual Studio, right? So I'm on my browser, I will type download Visual Studio. You will get a lot of links. Over here, you are getting a lot of links to download the Visual Studio. And the very first site is the Visual Studio official site, which is visualstudio.microsoft.com. I will click over here. And from here, you can download the Visual Studio community version, which is free, professional version, enterprise version, and Visual Studio Code free version as well. So I will go with the community version, right? And I will download it. It will download the executable file on your machine. You need to extract that package and install the Visual Studio in your machine. I already have the Visual Studio in my machine. So I will open the Visual Studio. So once you will open the Visual Studio, you will get a UI like this, right? So this is the welcome page which you will get once you will first time open the Visual Studio. So in the Visual Studio, you will get a different kind of options. By this, you can open the File Explorer. Over here, you can search for any kind of plugin which is required to run your code in the Visual Studio. This will support the Git control. This will support the debugging of the files. And over here you will get all the extension which you have installed inside your Visual Studio. So right now I have the extension like Docker, Python, and SQL Server, right? So if you want, you can uninstall the extension. So suppose I want to uninstall it, so I will uninstall the Docker extension, right? And it's gone. So if you want to create the Docker file, then you need to install the Docker extension in your Visual Studio. For this, you can search for the Docker, press enter, and you will get a lot of options like Docker Explorer, Docker Runner, but I will go with the official one, and you will get the official one from the Microsoft, right? So over here you can see this is being provided by the Microsoft, and this is the official Docker extension from the Microsoft. If you want, you can click this install button to install the Docker extension in your Visual Studio, or you can install by this particular install button as well. So I will click this and it will install the Docker extension in my Visual Studio Code, right? If I will again go to the extension and I will minimize this search, see, Docker extension is available on my machine, right? Now, what I need to do, I need to create a Docker file. So I will open up the folder and I will go to any directory on my machine. So suppose I will go to users, my directory, and over here I will go to training, I will go to Docker and build Docker images. So suppose this is the directory where I want to create my Docker file. Over here, I will click this particular link, new file, and I will create my Docker file. So I will mention Docker file, hit enter. So you can see, as I mentioned the Docker file, a Docker icon is being presented over here. A Docker icon is being present over here, right? I will open up the Docker file and here I need to mention all the things, all the commands which I want to run inside my nginx. So very first command is from. So you can see once I started the typing, I am getting the autocomplete. I will hit enter and it is being completed automatically, right? So over here, I need to mention the base image. So I will mention Ubuntu. So I will mention Ubuntu. Then I need to define the Ubuntu image version. So I will mention Ubuntu latest, right? After this, I want to mention some label. After this, I need to mention some label. So if you are not getting the autocomplete in your Visual Studio, you can press Control space to get autocomplete in your Visual Studio. Over here, suppose I need to define the key, which is version, and I'm defining the version is 0.0.1. Again, define the another label, and suppose I'm defining maintainer, and inside the maintainer, I'm defining my email ID. Now, what I did, I started my image from a base image of Ubuntu latest. Then I defined the two labels, the version of my image and the maintainer of my image. Right now, I need to define some run, right? And over here, I need to define the run command of apt-get update and apt-get install. So first, I will update my Ubuntu packages. So over here, I mentioned the command apt-get update and apt-get upgrade followed by -y. Why am mentioning the -y? So that it will not ask me the permission at runtime. Now I will mention another run command, and over here I will install the nginx in my Ubuntu base image. And in my next command, I will install the nginx on my Ubuntu base image, right? So I will insert a command to install nginx. So it is apt-get install nginx followed by -y again. -y so that it will not ask the permission at runtime. Then we need to expose some port where my container will accept the traffic in a nginx. So we'll enter expose, and suppose I want to expose port 80, right? So at port 80, my nginx container, this is default container which we are creating right now. So it will accept the traffic on port 80. If you have any confusion, you can accept the traffic on any port, right? Like 90 or anything, whatever you want, right? After this, I need to insert the last command, which is cmd, right? And here I need to define the commands to start my nginx container. Over here, I need to define the commands nginx -g and the dminf mode. So you can see this is our custom Docker file to create the custom nginx container. I just need to save it. Now I need to go to my terminal. On my terminal, I will execute command docker ps to verify is there any container running. On my terminal, I will execute a command docker ps to verify is there any container running on my machine or not. And you can see one container of nginx is running on my machine. So first I will stop it. So docker stop, then the container ID or the container name. My container name is awesome swords. Hit enter. Again execute docker ps and it's gone. Now we need to create our own image. But before this, we need to verify that how many images is present on a machine. So we'll execute docker images. And right now only one image is present on a machine and the repository name is nginx, tag is the latest, right? So now we will create our own image by command docker image build -t. Then I need to specify my image name. So I will specify this custom nginx colon. Now I need to specify the tag. So I'm specifying 0.0.1. Now you need to define the path of your Docker file. So my Docker file is present at a root directory. So I need to define the path like this. That's it. And execute this command. So the command is docker image build -t. This is my image name. This is the tag which I want to attach with my Docker image. And this is the directory of my Docker file. Hit enter button. And you can see it started building your custom Ubuntu images file, right? And all things are being processed. So we have to wait until the complete processing will be done and it's all done, right? Now we need to move one by one. So we will go to the starting of this processing. And over here you can see the step 1 out of 7 is started. So every instruction which is mentioned inside your Docker file over here, Docker will take it as a step. So this is the first step for the Docker. Label is another step. This is another step. So by this mean we have the 7 step in our Docker file. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? And same information we are getting over here. That step 1 out of 7 is being executed. So first it is started from a step 1. And in the step 1, and what is the step 1? Step 1 is from Ubuntu latest. It downloaded the latest image of the Ubuntu. Then it started the step 2 over here and it defined the version. Then in the step 3, it defined the maintainer of that particular image, right? The next step is a step 4. Over here we are updating our apt-get packages and it's done over here, right? Here we have the step 5. We are basically installing the nginx, right? So nginx took time. Then we have the step 6. We need to find out. See, over here we have the step 6. We expose our nginx at port 90. Then we have the step 7, which is the last step, the nginx cmt, right? If I will clear out my console, and after the processing I am getting the image is being successfully created. This is the image id and this is the image tag label custom nginx 0.0.1. So I will clear out my console and again execute the command docker images. So you can see another image of custom nginx is being created over here. See, the size of my custom nginx image is 181 megabyte. If you want to execute this image, then you can execute it by docker run -d -p. You need to specify on which port you want to access your nginx. So suppose I want to access it on port 4444. Then at what port the container will get the traffic, and we have defined the port 90, right? Then you need to define your image name, which is custom nginx, right? So this is the port which we can access the nginx from a host machine. This is the port where nginx will get the traffic, and we have modified the port to port 90, right? Hit enter. Uh-oh, we are getting the error message because we didn't define the version. This is not the latest ones, right? So we need to define the version as well. Hit enter and see a container with this particular ID is being started. If I will execute a command docker ps, then a container is running. So this is the way how we can create our own custom images and how we can run our own custom images. Now suppose we want to change something in our custom image. So we will again go to over here, and suppose we want to expose the port 80 instead of 90, and I want to add something, some comments over here, right? So I will add some comments in my docker file. So I have added some comments over here before every instruction. So I have updated few comments over here in this particular docker file. So if you want to comment out something, then you can use hash to comment out the line. I have added the comment because I will upload this file in the resources of this particular lecture so that you guys can get it, right? And I have changed the port. So the only change which I did is just change the port from 90 to 80, right? I will save this file. After save my file, I again need to rebuild it. For this, I need to again execute the same command, docker image build -t, then my image name, which is custom image, nginx, put colon. Now I need to change my tag. I will change it from 001 to 002, then define the directory where my file is present. My file is present inside the root. Hit enter. And this time you can see it is quite fast. It doesn't take much time as compared to previous one. Why it is not taking the time? So this is the advantage of the Docker. This is the beauty of the Docker. That's why the Docker is very fast in the deployment. So by default, Docker identified where the change is present, right? And it executed only that particular step. It didn't execute any step which is not changed, where we don't have the change. So Docker keep all the things from its own cache and rebuild a new image. So we don't have any change from the Ubuntu base image. So it's use its own cache, you can see over here, and didn't build this particular step. The step which is built is the only sixth step, you can see. Rest all of the steps are from the cache, right? And it is just building the sixth step where we have changed the port. See, removing the intermediate container, this, and generating the new ID. It just built the step where the change is present. That's why Docker is so fast in the deployments. All the step which is being built previously is not being built again. So Docker is so optimized in building the images. So if you change anything in any step, then that particular step will be built next time when you will generate your image, right? Now I will clear out my console and execute docker ps. So our container is running. First I need to stop my container. So docker stop, then provide the container name, which is friendly Hensburg. I stop it. Docker ps. Uh-oh. Docker ps. And you can see only one container is running, which is nginx official container, right? Clear out the console. Now docker images, and you can see a new image is being present over here with the new ID. Now, if we want to start our container on a new image, which is custom nginx 0.0.2, then we need to execute a command docker run -d -p. Then you can define any port like 8081 where the host can access this particular nginx, and I need to define 80 because in my new image the port is 80, which is listening the traffic, right? After then I need to define my image name .2. Hit enter, and you can see container is being started with this particular ID. If I will execute a command docker ps, then we can see the container is running, right? So we have started our container on a port 8081. Suppose we will go to our browser and try to access this particular container, right? So we are on a browser. Over here you need to mention the IP of your machine, then put colon and port 8081, because this is the port where we are accessing our container, right? So this is my machine IP. After then I put the colon and the port where I'm running the container, hit enter, and you can see Nginx container is running. So team, this is the way how you can create your own custom images and how you can build your images and how you can execute your images, right? So thank you team, thanks for your time.